So I'm living in the gym. Been doing it 2 years. I've got a nice little cushy room at the back of reception now, reading my books, and my coach gets an email from the UFC saying they're looking for people to compete in the Ultimate Fighter, which is basically it's a TV program in the States. The last 8 weeks, you go out to Vegas and you live in a house with 14 other fighters, and you fight each other one by one to find out who the best guy is. That's kind of how it works.
And the winner of that gets a contract. Is that right?
The winner gets a contract, exactly. Yeah. So
right.
With the UFC, so it's like their selection process. You know, if we put 40 people in the house and make them all fight each other, whoever the best guy is will sign to the UFC and they get a 6-figure contract.
And that was all televised, right? So that still goes, doesn't it? There's still
They had a little break, like it stopped because they started something called the Dana White Contenders Series, which is a slightly different format, and they've just revived it. It's just come back. I think it's season 27 or 26 now. So got invited to that. But what you have to do is you have to go to Vegas and you have to do the tryouts, and they interview everyone. You hit pads, you do whatever, you have a grapple in front of everyone, and they select people to go onto the show. So the only way you can do that is go to Vegas. Going to Vegas costs $1,000 minimum.
Yeah.
I had no money, zero. Luckily, the guy I lived with, Mika, who later was my best man at my wedding, he paid for me to go to Vegas. And my gran gave me, I think, 300 quid towards it as well. So I had no money, but I borrowed it all from all these people. And then 3 days before I was flying to Vegas, Mika said, I'm coming with you. And he booked his own flight and he came with me to Vegas as well. So we went to the tryouts. I think there was 530 people at the tryouts, off the top of my head. And then they cut you down little by little by little. So there's 3 stages. You hit pads. They go, no, you guys are crap. Get out. Got past stage 1. Stage 2 is you grapple, like wrestle in front of 3 judges, and they just call you out, you know, against some random guy. Got past that. Next stage. And the 3rd stage is the interview stage. Now, I don't mind having a little chat, as you can probably tell. So I was all right in the interview stage, but I remember there's 3 guys there. There's a guy named Sean Shelby, who's the matchmaker for the UFC. He's like the talent side of things. Yep. There's a media guy there, and then there's the guy who basically owns the TV program. So he's like the reality TV guy. And I sit down, and he basically said, "Go, you're one ugly motherfucker." That's the first thing he said to me. And he wanted to see your reaction, you know, because you're going to be on TV, on reality TV and all that sort of stuff. I can't remember what I said back to him, but it must have been pretty smart because I managed to get through that stage as well. But we had a good old chat. And then you get through. And then you get put down to, so there's going to be 14 people on the show. You get put down to 28 people. So 28 people get through. Then they pay for your hotel for a week, and they change your flights because whatever your flights had. So they pay all that side of things. So we get stuck in a hotel for a week, and then you do medical exams, your eye tests, all that sort of stuff to see that you're physically able to do the show.
Yeah.
But there's 28 of you and only 14 of you are going to get through. Oh, no, there's 40. Sorry, I got this wrong. There's 52 of you because there's going to be 28 or 56. There's 56 of you that get through because there's going to be 28. And then to get into the house, you have to fight to get into the house.
Right.
And the winners go in. So it made it a bit confusing. But anyway, got down to the last 56. So everyone's getting their medicals done and all that sort of stuff. And you're told you cannot leave your hotel room because you're not. They don't want the media to find out that you're on the TV program because it's quite a big thing in America. And they want you to be available for all your medical things. Obviously, I'm in Las Vegas. I'm 20 years old or 21 or 22 or whatever I am at the time. I think I'm 23 by then. And I'm with my mate Mika. So we're out every night getting drunk, doing what we do and waking up in the morning and all that sort of stuff. I had a crazy week in Vegas with him. It was a really, really good time. And then they send you home and they don't tell you nothing. So you go home, you do all your medicals. You don't know if you passed, don't know if you failed or whatever. And you go back and they just say, stay ready and we'll give you a call. Because I was in the UK, I didn't get a phone call. I just got an email. And the email said, okay, you're on the show. We're flying you out this date. And it was in 3 days. So I knew nothing about it. And then 3 days later, I was getting flown to Vegas and you get flown directly there and you have to fight 3. So you get an email, 3 days you're fighting. and if you win that fight, you're on the show. That was basically what it was.
Yeah.
So flew out there with Nigel, the guy that owned the gym. He came with me as well, just to support me and watch. You go in, you do the fight. I fought a guy called Nicholas Goring, who was training with the Diaz brothers, if you know the Diaz brothers. So they're like a big. So the Diaz brothers were both there, and I was a kid still in the game, and they were cornering Nicholas, and I just remember thinking, "Oh my God, it's the Diaz brothers," and being all excited about it. Anyway, so then you get in. We fought. I had one of the best fights I think I've ever had in my career. I think it was one of my best performances, best whatever you want to call it. And I get in the house. No one's seen that fight apart from Nigel, because they didn't air that fight. It was just like an elimination to get in. Get in the house. It was season 19 of The Ultimate Fighter, or 17, sorry, season 17 of The Ultimate Fighter. And it was known as the best season they've ever had as middleweight. So all those middleweights, there's two guys that come from it that are extremely famous and got up there, a guy named Kelvin Gastelum and Uriah Hall. They both did very well from the show. And Kelvin Gastelum is the guy who won the show. So I went on the show, had 3 fights, won my first fight against a guy called Gilbert Smith, won my second fight against, I can't remember the guy's name, lost my third fight, which was the semi-final. So if I had won that, I would have gone through to the finale. Because I lost that fight against a guy called Dylan Andrews, who was 35 years old or 33 years old and had 30 professional fights, and I'd had 5.
Wow.
So it was a big, and we spoke a little bit at the beginning. Obviously, I'm in the gym, living in the gym, and I got my support network: Jack, John, Tommy, Nigel, Robbie, amping me up, talking to me, my family. That gets taken away from you, and you get put in a house with people you've never met before from all over the world. And so, again, retrospectively, I realized how important they were to me when I was in the house, because now I'm just training for myself. I'm just doing it for myself. I don't have my people around me, So then when I get told I'm going to, because I spoke to them afterwards. I remember I get told I'm going to fight Dylan Andrews. And I remember thinking, shit, he's got 30 fights. He's and they just said, they would just be like, you're going to smash this guy. Don't worry about it. And they would give me the confidence,
Yeah.
But I didn't have that inside myself as an individual at that time in fighting, So I lost that fight, but because the season was such a success and the talent level was so high, Dana White came out and he said, everyone that's been on the show is going to have an opportunity to fight in UFC.
Wow.
So what they did was they had 7 fights, so 14 of the fights. We all got to fight each other still from the house. So I ended up fighting 4 different people from the house, because I fought another guy on the show in Vegas on my 25th birthday in the MGM. So basically, we all left, and then we had 3 months to prepare for the finale. And on the finale show, Uriah Hall was fighting Kelvin Gastelum to find out who the Ultimate Fighter was going to become, the winner of the show. And the winner of the show gets the contract, the Ultimate Fighter contract stuff. But Dana said, screw that. I'm not doing that this time. Everyone gets to fight. And anyone who wins, they get a contract. So there was 7 fights. I was fighting a guy called Colin Hart. And to prepare for that fight, me and John went to America, and we trained with Chael Sonnen, who was my coach on the show, who was like a big name in the sport and all that sort of stuff. So I went out and trained with Chael for the fight for 3 months. 25th birthday, fought Colin Hart, smashed him. One of a really good performance of mine. Went to a decision, but I smashed him. Won the fight, and I got in UFC. 25th birthday, I also won fight of the season against Dylan Andrews. So that fight that I lost was the best fight on the season on TV. Yeah. So I got 25 grand for that. Fighting, I got about 25 grand for that on the night. I'm 25 years old, and
you're in Vegas with all your cash.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, after the fight, the UFC, they don't do it anymore. But what they used to do is they used to hand you a check, and you could go to any casino that they own, and you can cash your checks. So I kept my bonus check, but I cashed one. I think I cashed 16 grand or something ridiculous. Didn't need all that, but I cashed it. I had it. I went out with Robbie and Jack and John, because they flew over to Vegas for the finale as well, and they cornered me and all that sort of stuff. and we went to see Vanilla Ice perform because Robbie was a little bit older than us, and he was like one of his idols or whatever. So I remember we went to see Vanilla Ice in Vegas, and then I went off and got absolutely destroyed, smashed. And on the way home, back to my hotel, I started playing craps, which I had no idea how to play because I was a kid who'd never really been in the sim before, and I was playing away or whatever. And I managed to make another $5,500 following the guy next to me, just him telling me what to do. And I woke up in the morning sitting on a seat like this, just holding loads of chips, like passed out. And John woke me up and go, "What are you doing?" And I just had all this money. So it was a pretty good day. It was a pretty good day.
Oh, it's up there, right?
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up
in
there.
The experiences.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good one. That was a good moment. That was a good.
So at that point, you've been given the money as you know, for winning, right? But where's the talk of this? Is the talk of a contract at that point? So
if you win, you're in. So that's the thing.
Right. So but there's no
everyone who won on that night, you're in. You're in the UFC. So so I'm trying to say, my 25th birthday, made all that money, got in UFC, smashed it.
And that was on your 25th birthday.
Yeah, on the April 13th, whatever the year would have been, long time ago. Yeah, it was pretty sweet.